Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we are going to be talking about and breaking down the 3 best legend combos that you and your squad are going to be wanting to run this split. With the new season, with the new map, you guys might be a little bit confused, but don't worry because I'm here to work things out for you, and by the end of this video you should have a legend combo that you will be running. But just quickly guys, with the new season, a lot of people might be freaking out because we got a new map, we got a new legend, there's rank grinds to go, there's a lot of stuff going on. But don't fear because the GameLeap website is here. Over there we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides, all to make you the best Apex player you can possibly be. We have VOD reviews, gun guides, legend guides, and a catalyst guide on its way very shortly. And right now there's no better time to get a membership because to celebrate the new season we have a 50% off sale right now. So click the link in the description, type in code S15, get your 50% off membership and start to improve today. But okay, with that out of the way, let's jump into the legend combos. And the first one that I want to start off with, because a lot of people like to go for the kills, they like to play edge, is going to be the edge team comp. This is going to be one that's more aggressive, more fighting style based, and if you like to run and gun, this is for you. Now this team comp is going to be Valk, Seer, and Horizon. Now even though Valk has been hit with quite a few nerfs over the last couple seasons, she's still really good, and on Broken Moon there's only one jump tower, so her ultimate is still very useful for certain teams, like an edge team who wants to fight. You don't want to have to be worried about the ring when you're fighting a team that's an extended fight that's outside of circle. You want to be able to take your time, finish that fight, loot what you need, and then you can just jump into a Valk ult and make your way to zone perfectly fine. Also, when it starts to get to smaller circles, if you're being gate kept, you can just Valk ult, fly over top of somebody, and you're good. If you're going to be an edge fighting team, you pretty much need a Valkyrie on your team because she's just ridiculously useful in those situations. And even though Catalyst has come into the game and she was supposed to be the anti-scan legend, she's not as good as we were all hoping she would be. She doesn't counter Seer as hard as we thought she would. You can still use his passive through a wall, you can still use his ultimate through a wall, it's just the Q that it stops. So Seer is still pretty good. And with the teams that aren't running Catalyst, you know, it's still Seer. You have constant wall hacks, you can cancel reses, you can cancel heals. Seer is really good if you're trying to run teams down because when you're trying to fight them, they can't get away from you. You see where they are when they're inside your ultimate. I was really hoping that the Seer meta was going to be over because it's kind of annoying. It's going on a few seasons now, but it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon, so you know, you may as well just fall back into it if you have played it before. And to top this all off, Horizon is still Horizon. She's really strong. There's a lot of vertical movement on this map. There's actually a surprising amount of high spots that you can play on each and every building, so her gravity lift is really good for pushing those spots. If a team's holding high ground, hey, guess what? I have a gravity lift. I'm on top of you now. And if you're all huddled up, guess what? I have a black hole that's coming straight at you at Mach 50 to suck you all in with 30 arc stars as well. She's still one of those legends that you just can play no matter what kind of team comp that you're in. She just fills right in, but on edge team, she's just super good on the offensive and you can wipe teams super quickly with the black hole. This team you did see a lot of last season, you're probably going to see it a lot this season. It's still the best edge team. But what if you want to be more of a zone team? You're more focused on figuring out where the end game's going to be, looting up, getting a fast rotation to that end game spot, waiting for the other teams to kill each other and getting your kills at the end of the game. Well, for that you're going to want to look at Catalyst, Caustic, and Wraith. Now I know that a lot of people might be saying, well, there's no beacon scan character, but I will explain that when we get to Wraith. But let's start this off with the new legend Catalyst. Now, Catalyst is not as strong as we thought she was going to be in terms of anti-scan, but she is still ridiculously strong in terms of stalling out fights, and when people are trying to push your building, she makes it ridiculously hard to do so. She can reinforce 2 different doors, and even if the door is just blown off completely, she can then still put her ferrofluid on top of it and make it so you have a door there no matter what. And when teams are trying to breach that, they have to kick it 4 different times. So they're very vulnerable when doing so. And even if you're only reinforcing 2 doors, if there's other spots that they can come into, you can throw your spike traps on that door and they can't really swing it. In terms of defensiveness, she is strong, but she can also flip the script and be offensive at the same time. If you're trying to push a building, you can throw spike traps on doors so that enemies can't swing out behind you and hit you from a flank, but you could also reinforce that door so that no matter what, they can't swing out. You can slowly trap them into different corners of a building because no matter what, they just can't get out of it. Now that's more her passive and her tactical. Her ultimate is not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's a little underwhelming. It's more of just something that you use to block LOS, to reset a fight, fight, heal a teammate, maybe pop a battery. But yeah, kind of underwhelming. But everything else about her is just ridiculously good, and I love playing her so far. But if you pair her with the caustic, it is damn near impossible to push that building. Even if you don't have doors reinforced, they have spike traps on them, they have gas traps on them, you have caustic's ult. If a team is not very well coordinated, they are not getting into your building. And if they can't get into your building, they're just sitting on the outside, vulnerable, making noise, and they're prime targets for a third party. And then that third party is not going to be able to get into your building, they're going to get rolled up on, it's going to be a fourth party, and you're just going to get easy placement points. Now that is why I have Caustic and Catalyst in this team comp, but the reason that I have Wraith and not a Beacon Scan character is because I personally have not found that these zones are hard to read at all. The pulls are pretty easy to predict, and with all the teams that are running around the edge trying to kill each other, it's actually pretty easy to get an endgame building. You typically don't have to fight for one, but when it comes to endgame and you have to move buildings, or maybe there's a care package, or you need to go out to a death box to grab some items, having a Wraith portal like that is going to be super strong. The relocation ability that she has with the portal, the safety net that she has with it, it's just ridiculously good. But if you don't like Wraith, or you do want to have a Beacon Scan character, you can swap Valkyrie in here to get the beacon scans and also have her ultimate to get you to zone faster so that you can get that god spot. But you know, I like to have Wraith right here. Now the last team is going to be more of a hybrid team. This is one where you can play buildings if you want in zone, or you can play edge and get some kills. For this, I'm gonna have Gibby, Loba, and actually surprisingly Ashe. Now Gibby did receive some nerfs and he did have an actual counter with Mad Maggie, but Mad Maggie doesn't actually have that high of a pick rate, and to be honest, I haven't seen her in any of the games that I've played this season. But there are a ton of open areas with a ton of different sniper lanes, and Gibby can just counter that completely with his bubble. If your team's being pressured from far away, you bubble, you're perfectly fine. He can also res faster, so he might be able to trick out a Seer if he does wait a little bit too long. Now also, you do have Loba on this team, and Loba is good on her own. The bracelet is really good in different fights because you can get separate off angles, you can use it as an escape tool. It is very versatile, and it does seem like they have fixed the problems that were plaguing it the last couple seasons where it just wouldn't land. I haven't played her a ton, but I did play her a little bit last season, and I never had a bracelet fail to land. But the real kicker is with her ultimate. Now I love these POIs. It seems like every POI is absolutely stacked to the roof with loot, and Loba can absolutely abuse that, especially when it comes to endgame situations. If you're low on something, throw down a black market, loot what you need, and your team is going to be fine. Loba's actually a really solid pick right now if your team has no idea who they want to add to their roster. She fits into every different playstyle, and she's always an asset. Now the last legend I have in this team comp is Ashe, and a lot of people might be surprised by that, but Ashe is actually a super slept on legend. Her passive allows you to see where all the teams are dying on the map, so you know exactly where to avoid if an area is hot and you don't want to fight. Vice versa, if you want to fight and you see a bunch of teams dying, you can go and third party that. Her tether is also really good at locking down and singling out enemies so you can finish off a kill, and her portal can be used offensively and defensively. Now she's not a broken legend by any means necessary. I do think she's pretty balanced, but again, I do think she's slept on. I think a lot more people should be picking up Ashe this season. I think she's actually going to be pretty useful with all of the open sniper lanes. You can just get out of them instantly with her TP. But these are my legend combos. Let me know what you guys and your team are going to be running this season in the comments down below. I do read all the comments that we get on these videos, and I love to hear your opinion. But with all this being said, guys, if you want to stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We have a ton of bangers coming up for season 15, and you do not want to miss any of them. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.